Right, it's MOT time again. I've been checking out the chassis and I've noticed at the back where somebody put a new rear cross member on here maybe about 10 years ago. It's been a bit of a water trap, and I've put my screwdriver through a hole and it just got bigger and bigger as they do. So it's not very nice. I'm thinking probably fuel tank out, step off, cut this whole section out and get on with a bit of an epic welding job. So yay, let's see how that goes. Yes, not very nice at all. Needs sorting out. Okay, so I've got the rear step off, I've got the fuel tank out because it was a bit worse than I thought. Yeah, it's all a bit grim around there really. I've chopped a bit of it out to have a look. The wiring loom goes through the chassis there, so I'm going to have to get that out, pull it back, and I can chop even more out, try and find some decent metal to start a repair from.
So it's all rather sad. It's not the easy MOT I was expecting. Despite various other things, there's quite a lot of welding to be done. Yeah, a little bit sad really. If only I had a friend coming around tomorrow that was really good at welding. Hello. What are we doing today?
Dicking about with old Land Rover. Just for a change.
Well, it's been a while. What state do you reckon it's in?
Bad.
Yeah, it's not very nice, is it? I think we're going to have to chop some more out of that. Will it live?
Yes. It's going to be okay.
What do we need?
One of those,
Yeah.
and a bit in the middle.
Cool.
But in steel, I reckon.
In steel, yeah. Sally said that a cardboard chassis probably wouldn't pass muster with the MOT guy.
Done it.
Use the highly accurate template.
Not Land Rover, not a fucking space shuttle. You can quote me on that.
It's not a space shuttle yet.
Let's go there.
With the mileage on it, it could have gone to the moon.
Yeah, a bit more on there. So we're going to have one of those and one of those.
It's a little bit like some kind of Celtic yin and yang sort of symbol, isn't it? But in steel. Sure you're not doing art?
Pretty sure. Hard with a PH.
We've got to have Howard round interviewing us. How's it looking?
There we go. Yeah, that's that one. That's very nearly there then.
Looking good.
Yeah, I was going to do that little bit there. That's going to be ready. That's the only other bit there.
Sounding very good.
That's what I was on about with the overlap on the inside.
Yeah, it's just a horrible bit, isn't it?
Yeah,
So what's the plan, to just do that afterwards?
that was my plan, but I'm thinking now, because it does go all the way down really,
Yeah,
I might just cut a strip out and do that first.
yeah.
I'll just tidy up this end. And
Are we going to need to support the rear cross member if we're chopping bits like that out, or will it be alright?
I don't think we will.
Cool.
It's still going to support on the other side, and like you say, I don't think there's actually much stress on it.
I don't think there's a lot of weight on it.
No. Well, what we can do is I'll make a cut here
Yeah,
and a cut here where I'm going to go up. We'll measure exactly what that cut is
yeah.
and make sure it doesn't get any
Get wider.
doesn't change dimensions.
Yeah, we can always
Just for peace of mind, really.
always stick the high lift on the back if necessary.
Yeah. But I doubt very much it'll move.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's what's left of the overlap of the replacement rear cross member and the original chassis in there.
Yeah,
Which is fine on that side, but this side was just weak. So I've measured that point to that point, and we'll see if it comes together anymore or indeed goes apart. I don't think it will.
No, I don't think there's that much weight on it.
So now we just need another one of these, and I'll weld that in first before we do the main repair.
Right, what's that, Max?
This is a smart MIG, and it's smart because it's got a chart.
A chart?
So on the smart chart for the smart MIG, we can see that we've got 2mm material, and I've got 0.8, I think it's 0.8 wire in there. So those go together, and we need A max. Fortunately, there's one right here.
Well, there's A max.
Yes,
I don't think that's what it refers to, though, is it?
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Yes. In practice, I found the chart is only it's just to start you off. You still need to fiddle with it, just as you would with any other welder.
Yeah. So-
Utterly redundant, really.
it's yellow, though, isn't it? And it sort of matches the cylinder.
Yeah, it's well yellow. I'll give him that. Yeah, I was a bit despondent about it until I got the lister generator. And now I'm alright.
Chickens everywhere. Yes, I know.
That's what I've taken out then. Here's the new bit. It's going to go in.
Cool.
And so far the chassis hasn't widened up at all, so I'm going to roll with what we got.
Good news.
Now, the chassis here, this plane here then comes out over there. So I've got to allow for that. So what I'm going to do is put it flush to this one first, tack it on there, and then hammer it in to join this one.
Cool.
I don't want this one to come out too much because that looks silly. So I'll tack it in the middle there and push it over there. That's the plan. Yeah.
Cool.
See what happens. They were a bit better. Now got that's the way I go. There we go.
Cool. Sounds a lot nicer, healthier.
There we go. Right, next up then, I'm going to tack this one on.
Right.
So we'll tack this on, tack on the other side, and then that will give us something to offer up the bottom bit.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
And then we'll form up that whole section on the bench,
Yeah.
and then stick it on.
Tidy. What's that?
So this one's now tacked in as well. So at this point we can offer up the underneath and get that properly located.
Is that an industry standard metal bending procedure?
Yeah. Big leg.
Sure, this how they're probably made in Solihull, or were. Oh, it'll do.
Even less of the point then. So the whole thing about Range Rover is to flex how much money you've got.
Yeah,
So you've got the budget version that's not full drive and it's on lease hire.
yeah. That's what most people seem to be doing now.
I'd just be embarrassed at that point. Okay, now I've got the clever bit.
Yeah.
I've got to tack this bottom bit to this bit securely enough that we can then chop it off, take it off the chassis without it all falling apart. Yeah, so because it's blowy,
Yeah.
there's a draft blowing around the wheel here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you hear that?
Yeah.
That's the sound of a terrible weld.
Okay.
So instead of it going it's going
Yeah.
it sounds splattery. And that's just the gas being blown away from where I'm welding. Yeah, now this welder does actually do flux core, and I do have some flux core which I bought to do the ZIL roof. But I didn't bring it down because I figured this is not the time to be experimental. So that sounded a lot better, and then you can see in the weld itself it doesn't have the bubbles in it that like this one does.
Yeah. This is only tacking it up anyway though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty much academic at this point. Well, I used to build gates for a living, That's how you do it. That's how you tack together a gate.
Yeah.
But you've got to remember to turn your head to a different way every now and again. Otherwise you just get sunburned.
Get sunburned, yeah.
On the side. That doesn't impress anyone. So what I'm trying to do all the time is not have this overlapping that, or I'm not doing it like that or like that. I'm trying to get them to go like that. If you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So that then there'll be a space we can put the weld in, and it'll all end up neater.
Yeah.
So here, the curve in the plate I've cut isn't quite right, but I can get around that. So there's just that little gap through. So if you're in an awkward place you can't clamp, and this is how I welded up the bottom of a canal boat, is you offer up the sheet. In that case it was an 8x4 sheet of 6mm steel, and we had to push it against the boat with a forklift. Then I'd do a huge tack weld and then sledgehammer it to get it to match up perfectly.
Yeah.
And then just do that, all the tacking like that across the whole sheet, and then do all the seams.
Was it like 5mm plate or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 or 6. Well, I think it was 4mm on the sides and then 6mm underneath. Hideous job. Welder's good. That was one of those oil-filled welders, but a monstrous one.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge three-phase jolly. So, broken the tacks. This should come off now. Yep. So what I just said makes more sense now.
Yeah.
So the next job then is to weld up this seam and this seam, which I can do from an easy position rather than upside down.
Yeah.
Then off and up.
Looking good.
Yeah. Oh. So that was interesting, that some of the bits there where there was a gap that needed filling, I had to put it down to the minimum setting on this welder, and then you could hear me going zzz, and then stopping and zzz, and stopping, so that's where it's like a millimetre gap between the two panels that had to be filled up with weld. So yeah, so that means if I ever wanted to do actual car body work with that welder, it might be might not go down far enough. That's where those little inverter MIGs are more handy, because they've got the infinitely variable output on them. But anyway, if you're stitch welding, you can get away with it, which is what I was doing. So yeah, it was perfectly adequate welding. You can see there, down in that one, so it's penetrated all the way along. So that's fine. I'll just tidy up the outside with a sanding disc.
Sorry.
Shiny.
Yeah.
You happy with that?
Yeah, it's looking good.
So if I cut these bits here down, there and there, so that it's sat in there properly, I'd be welding upside down to do those bits.
Yeah.
But if I cut back here and here, then I'll be welding in sideways, which is much better.
Yeah.
So I'll do that. So yeah, so I'll grind out that one, and then it'll all fit up. Right, so I'm going to tack it, and then grind and hammer if need be, get everything lined up properly, and then attempt to actually weld it. So yeah. Let's start with somewhere that looks alright. rains down on me every time I hit it.
I did pressure wash it, but I must have missed some bits. It was pretty minging before.
Oh, reasonable. It's not great, but... both sides tacked on. That's it.
Cool.
Right, so you just got to put that bracket on.
Yeah, I've cleaned it all up.
Cool. Done. I think that's it, isn't it?
Nice one. Yeah. Yeah, I think everything's where it should be. Looking good.